Love
boat.
exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. Love, life's sweetest reward.
Yes.
I love it.
Let it flow. It floats back to you. The love boat. Surely making another run. The love boat promises something for everyone.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, yes.
That's a first. That's a first.
I used to watch that all the time.
I know, so did I. Carlito, we are in a new location up north of
Wow.
Toronto. We're in someone's kitchen.
Very different.
We just knocked on the door, and all of a sudden, we're in someone's kitchen. No, we are in we're in a client's home. That's where we're at, and we want to talk about contractors and clients, the dynamic and the ups and downs, the pitfalls, whatever, all kinds of good, bad, ugly. To the right of me, because I got Carlito right across from me. To the right of me, I've got Cesar.
Hello.
To the left of me, I've got Marie.
Hi.
Lovely couple. Been married for how long?
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
21.
Almost 21 years.
I wasn't going to make it difficult questions on this podcast.
Yes, almost 21. Almost 21.
21 years. So we want to get a little bit about, I guess, how you guys know me, a little bit of brief and how we came to be. And then we'll get right into talking a lot about construction and what you guys think about us.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I was actually just mentioning to Carlito that I met you. Yeah, we think it was 20 plus years ago. You were working on a short film. I came in to audition. I blew you away. And you said that
Totally.
definitely cannot be the lead, but so we did the short film together, and then we just kind of a common love of film. We worked on a couple projects, and then we realized we also had some interest, some common interest in construction and making homes beautiful. And you've helped a lot. Now I consider you a friend. Hopefully, it's the other way around too.
Totally. Why else would I be up here Sunday morning disturbing your hour ahead time difference? So thank you very much, guys. So how do we want to get this started, Carlito? How do you want to do this?
Well, I think we should just be natural and just talk about your experiences in construction first.
Well, I guess, what's your perception of contractors today?
I think that they can be sometimes difficult, sometimes really helpful. So a bit of a mix, I think.
Please elaborate.
The first thing that comes to mind for me is a rare species. Like, it's so hard to find somebody sometimes. It's one thing if you want to do like, major renovations throughout your house versus maybe some specific electrical project versus some other kind of project. It feels, first of all, really tough to just find somebody sometimes, We're lucky, obviously, because I know I can tap into you. In general, people will, as they're talking to you, it's like, well, I need a guy. Do you know a guy who can do this and a guy who can do that? So that's the first step, is just finding somebody seems like a challenge.
Then I guess a trustworthy person
Yes.
after that.
Someone who's trustworthy and has good quality work. That's what you're always worried about.
And then I guess in your circle of friends, you don't know that many contractors. So
No.
do you guys turn to the web? Hopefully not the TV shows.
Not the TV shows. Yeah, I think we've done, well, sometimes we try word of mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
Tried to look it up somehow.
Yeah,
Pretty much how we've
through
done it.
siblings and friends.
Yeah.
And again, I always have you, but siblings and friends, you're asking around. I know I've gone on to some websites as well. Do you care if I mention?
Sure, mention the websites. Yeah,
I think it was Jiffy on Demand. Is that what it is?
I've heard of that one.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
That worked out. Found a guy to do the fence through that.
Because
So-
nobody wanted to do the fence.
What was the reason why nobody wanted to do the fence? Too
'Cause
small a job?
Too small of a job.
So that's the
Yeah.
big thing. Too
Yeah.
small of a job
Yep.
frustrates you guys even further, especially in the busy season.
Oh yeah.
And it seems to be always busy.
These days it is.
It seems like there's too few guys, and even with our fence, he ended up coming like late in the season. I want to say just before it started to snow. Same thing with our front patio. They did it just before it snowed.
Wow.
Like they're just squeezing you in. But yeah, going back to your question, yeah, trustworthy is good. But we chatted about this before too. And I guess the first thing is when you get somebody in the room, if it's something tiny and it's like this tile on this floor, go right. But if it's something bigger, You want somebody to take your ideas and make them better. That's
You guys
where-
are always looking for that?
We are. We
Yeah.
like the idea
Yeah.
of working collaboratively with our contractor. We want the latest and greatest stuff. You know, you want stuff that looks nice but functional.
Like yesterday, we went to a furniture store, right, to work with a consultant on the master bedroom. And we really appreciate their ideas, what to put in there, how to pull it all together. Now, that's furniture, but it applies also to when you're building something.
It's
right?
connected to the rental.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys have to
Yeah.
think about the work that's being done. Oh, was that? That wasn't me.
Manny.
Somebody forgot to turn off their
No,
phone.
it's on vibrate. You're quiet over there. What's going on?
I'm listening.
You're supposed to be contributing.
Don't worry, I have lots.
So trustworthy. So you guys are trying to find people. So we got contractors that don't want to really do small jobs. You guys get more frustration because someone gives you a lead and then you contact them and then you get that kind of conversation. You want contractors to contribute, give you ideas. Have you guys gone the road of the designer coming in here and kind of talking to you? Have you guys spoken to designers before and that whole dynamic between designers, contractors, and clients?
We haven't really had to do that because it was a new build. I mean, we did some of that talk when we initially bought the home, but since then the renos have been sort of room by room and haven't necessitated like a major overhaul, like structural or anything like that. So yeah, it's not been that elaborate.
Yeah, and I got to commend you guys for that because the thing is, the house is 10 years old, but you guys are still renovating it based off of what it was originally because you guys didn't get everything you wanted, but you guys are doing it room by room instead of trying to overwhelm yourselves to do the whole house at one time.
Yeah, the other thing obviously is the cost of everything now, just through the roof. The basement is unfinished, and that's a conversation we have every so often.
For 10 years now.
Just
and
about
for
8.
maybe
Yeah.
another, maybe for another 10 years, who knows? But like I know the price tag down there is going to be huge, and it's literally like, how many times are we going to use it? Divide that into what it's going to cost. And I don't know, to me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't want to finish it, right? It's a huge
Are you
dollar.
guys sticker shocked on how expensive labor is? Or is it the materials? Or is it
I think
both?
for both.
Both?
For both. And we will always estimate something, and it's oftentimes a lot more.
Okay, so I
We're
got to
just
ask,
like,
where,
wow.
where do you get your estimation from?
Well, in our own brains, of course. We're trying to do our own research, and then we think, yeah, we got this. It'll be, let's say $10,000, and then it comes back, it's 15 or 20, and that can be a little shocking. And we're also of the mindset that, we want to get good quality. We do have a budget, but we understand the need to wiggle it a bit. When you do that every project, you got to slow it down and do it room by room.
You have to. I would
Well, we
always
do.
recommend that.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Otherwise, you'll just be like, you're overwhelmed. It's insane.
It's a
And
lot, yeah.
I really don't know what a reasonable rate is for the different trades now. I know when we did the landscaping outside, I think they take the material, they multiply by 2, and that's what they charge just for the labor.
That was the old. Isn't that like Carlito? That was
It
the,
works still sometimes.
Does it still
Yeah.
work? Yeah.
But things have changed. Gas is 3 times more expensive. Labor hasn't gone up.
I'm just thinking insurances and everything to run your legal
Yeah.
business is a lot more expensive.
WSIB.
All that stuff. So we have to factor all that in. So a contractor is not making $1 off of that dollar that's coming in, right? I think more than 50% of it is going out. So
And that's good to know because we wouldn't know that, right? We're just kind of looking at the end product number and we're thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. But
it is. It
Then
is.
there's the old, can we do anything cash?
is there something we can do about
You're
this?
one of those, huh? That's the idea.
I'm the president of those.
Well,
It doesn't always work, though.
No.
I'm not saying it's right or not saying it's wrong. It's 26% cheaper just looking at HST and WSIB. That's 26%. I mean, you wonder why people want to do it that way. The government isn't really helping us by forcing us into that situation, right?
It would be great if the government gave you guys incentives to do it, and then you can benefit on your taxes as a result of this.
Well, that's kind of interesting because there was that, grant rebate or whatever when you do certain things, right, for
Insulation.
environmentally. The insulation is what I'm thinking about.
Yes.
So those things kind of drive decisions too because it's like, oh, well, if we can get a rebate and we can get that done, it's a win-win.
But then the government threw that out.
Oh, yes, they did.
This is the Canadian government, and that's not the kind of podcast that we're here. As much as Carlito wants to do that.
But also, I've heard people say that they've gone and accepted some of those government grants and allowed new windows and doors, and they've done the insulation, and then right after they finish, their taxes go up. So it's kind of like, hey, why don't you renovate your house? Let's find out what's going on, and then we're going to tax you, and you're going to pay for it anyways.
Holy shit.
Wow,
So
yeah.
it's a hard win-win, you know?
Oh my God, I hadn't heard that one, but yeah, not surprised.
Well, your impact rating would go up, right? So
Yeah,
all
that
of a
makes
sudden you become either the most expensive house or the cheapest house on the street, and then you have to pay the extra amount.
Yeah, that's...
He's right. It is a
not good.
win-win for them.
Who knew? You
there you
couldn't
go.
trust them.
Can't trust the government.
We won't get into that.
Yeah,
Not on this podcast.
But also, homeowners aren't having the only problem with contractors doing small jobs. For example, I have a lady right now. She's ending up in a divorce with her husband, and she needs to get rid of her home. You know, she had a wish list of 3 bathrooms. I was just finished quoting her 3 bathrooms, and then she gave me the bad news that, you know, she has to now sell. Her husband just lost his job through all this ordeal of, you know, the breakup and so on. The sad story goes on. Happens to a lot of people. People just don't pay attention to it or realize it. So she has an illegal entrance. She purchased it this way. So she bought the home, and then she had an illegal entrance. Now that she wants to sell, I did a walkthrough and I said, bricks cracking, no lintel, blah, blah, blah. This is things that home inspectors are going to look for. So she said, can you help me? And I said, I'll help you. So these are some of the things I won't do right now. I don't have the time for it during the day. I tried to speak to 5 of my masons, and not one of them would show up because the job was too small. So going back to that small job, it's very hard to find people to just come for a small job and not charge. It was typically $1,000, $1,500 job. The only guy I could get in is charging over $2,500. So even I'm getting squeezed to help somebody out.
So why don't more guys be the small job guys out there, or it's not worth their while? I guess you guys would benefit from that. The other day I saw a post on social media where these guys only handle structural load preparing.
Oh, wow.
I haven't met a client yet who hasn't had a house that said, I want that wall out, right? But obviously that wall is structural. But now you've got to get a contractor that has to handle that and take care of that. So these guys come in and they take care of just that detail, which I think makes sense. So like to your point about windows and masons and a $1,500 job, why can't you be a mason that starts a business that you just focus on those small jobs? I'll come in, make your window opening bigger. I'll put the proper lintel. I'll put the proper membrane, and I'll do a little brickwork around there and then get out.
You know what comes to mind is the guy who put in our sprinklers. Once a year, I have him come in and he turns them on and he makes sure, you know, all the equipment is fine. This kid is incapable, it seems, of planning for more than just a couple days ahead.
Oh, he's one of those, huh?
Yeah. So it's all small jobs for him. You know, it's a different skill to be able to manage your time well. And this guy, you know, he's making a living, but that's a challenge for him. And when he did our stuff, I remember he showed up at like Saturday at 4 p.m. and they worked till 9. Like they're just wedging jobs in at these odd hours, right? Had the same conversation with a tile guy who was going to come. He was so busy, he was going to come Sunday night. I'm like, dude, you need to rest. Don't come here and do a shitty job. You need to rest.
How does that make you guys feel when they're like working 5-6 days to begin with, and then they sneak it in on the 7th, 8th, 9th day?
Yeah, we don't want to
of the
be
week?
the afterthought. Like,
Because
we want our
something
job
could-
to be...
You
You
want
want the-
quality.
you want
right?
quality.
You want
Yeah.
quality. So I want you to show up, not even Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday when you're warmed up, you know, you've had a good breakfast, you know, everything's good with your wife, you don't hate life.
And that's
Oh, so you're not
true.
making small talk just for the sake of small talk. You're investigating to find out that your job is actually going to turn out well. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing,
Yeah,
which
we
is
want
great,
that.
which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Going back to you guys went to Jiffy to find the fence and the landscape. Did you only get the one quote, or did you guys get more than one quote to come in? Because
You know what? It was me
Yeah,
that
yeah,
did
yeah.
it, which means I'm not going to remember well.
This is true. Short-term memory.
that's why you're here.
But with Jiffy,
think
it
we
was
had-
really specific, right? That you don't just specify what you want; you have to specify when you want it. And I want to say, I literally had maybe just the one guy show up here, and maybe somebody else via email was trying to quote same thing. He had no time, and
Yeah, that's what I remember. Like
okay.
maybe at best 2 responses, one who actually activated on that response, like came out, took a look, and dealt with
measured
it.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are doing an exterior project, fence and hardscaping. You guys started making the inquiries at one time of the year.
For the fence, I want to say it was probably June-ish. Just kind of kept talking to people, and then, like I said, it finally happened like late fall. When it was for the landscaping outside, the hardscaping stuff, just got names here and there from different folks. I want to say the guys who ended up doing it here, it was a neighbors of my sister who had them the year before, and we got the name. They came over.
So word of mouth, and that's how it
And
came
we
up.
would have talked to them in the fall, and they came in the spring of the following year.
To start the work. That's generally the rule.
I mean, we
Actually,
started
maybe it
talking.
started earlier,
Yeah, the
to be
talking
honest.
started sooner in the summer for sure, and then
they came almost a year later.
Was it a frustrating experience?
Yes.
yeah, I know it was frustrating for us for different reasons,
And?
some of which we won't get into.
You know what's frustrating is that
That's
it's
another
timing.
podcast.
Yeah, you guys
We've been
can come
saying
back
that a
for
lot. Things come up and we always just say, that's another podcast.
Yeah, it's a long process. Sometimes you have to wait for certain things to be done. Like we had some custom stuff done.
Yeah,
They're not showing up for the full day, so things are just taking longer.
You know why, right? They're juggling 15 jobs.
Probably, right?
And then they make an appearance. I guess it's like the stage, right? They're just like the secondary supporting character just shows his face and all of a sudden leaves.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, look, did you see that? That was amazing.
which is cool too, right? It's one of those things where, let us know in advance that here's how it's going to play out. If I worked on it full time, I'd be done in 2 weeks, but I have other stuff to do, so it's going to be 6 weeks.
They
right?
never mentioned that?
Well,
No.
It's funny you say that because that's one of my MOs. A lot of times I go take a look at jobs and I'm hoping that I can take control of the project and just do it. Sometimes the people want to be home because they've been taken by 3 or 4 different contractors, so they want to be there. So a lot of the work ends up being in the afternoon. They don't want to have someone from 7 in the morning till 5. They want to have someone from 5 to 10, which is kind of the opposite of what normal construction is. That puts me in a situation. So I usually tell people, why don't you keep looking for a contractor? Here's my price on the project. I will keep going on with your project until you find someone to take over for me. You have to be aware that I won't be here maybe 3 days through the week. I may be for 2 hours instead of 8. That way it's honest and no one can get angry. But it's hard not to get frustrated when your project takes so long, right?
Here's a question for both you guys. Would you prefer a contractor, I guess, let's say, take both contractors, be very transparent and tell you, okay, listen, guys, I can do your job, but it's going to take me over the next 6 months of being here once or twice a week, and I'll get it done eventually. Or would you prefer a contractor that tells you, listen, I can't get into your job 6 months from now, but he'll get it done in 2 weeks. Guarantee I'll be here full time 5 days a week for those 2 weeks. Which contractor would you prefer?
I think I would prefer knowing that it'll be done within a specific period of time and later on.
Instead of dragging it all out and getting it done.
It depends on what type of job it is. Like if it's a really huge renovation and it's going to have an impact on your daily life, that kind of doesn't work out really well.
Her sister wanted built-in as well, right?
Okay.
And so they turned to me and like, hey, can you do ours? And I'm like, no. Like, I'm a generous guy, but I'm like, guys, you don't understand. This is going to take me like a year plus. Your house is going to be a mess. Like, your family room is going to look wrong for a year. You're going to hate me, right? So, yeah, to Marie's point, it depends, if you can do something sporadic and it's not ugly or messy though for the whole stretch, that's fine. But if there is a mess involved, then maybe just contain it to a smaller.
So you guys would wait that opportunity and actually book you guys into a window, start, finish, done.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's so quiet. It must be Sunday
They're
or
all
something.
good. You guys are talking. It's fantastic.
I want to hear, do you guys have horror stories from other friends, colleagues that have told you what's been going on and what they went through? Or are there any?
Well, 2 things come to mind. One, a person told me about a situation where a supporting bar was not put in properly. So
beam?
literally the house was
beam?
like shifting, like serious issues, right? I don't know how that gets corrected. And then the other thing that comes to mind is, again, that same sister of Marie's had some work done at her house, And I forget what, if it was light fixtures or something. Anyways, they got robbed soon after, and it seemed like they knew to leave. They had a sliding door in the back. They unscrewed that one piece, I guess the stopper
Oh
piece.
my god!
Yeah, it's the toe kick or whatever. Yeah, I know you're talking.
It
about.
just seems so coincidental.
that got
And they were able to come in and even knew where to walk without triggering the alarm.
dun dun dun.
Sounds like they had two jobs.
Yeah, a little moonlighting
A
going on there.
daytime job and a nighttime job. That's
Jeez.
horrible to hear.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
awful.
But
And
then-
that's why you're so afraid of finding someone. You want someone you can trust and that's reliable and has word of mouth. Like we need testimonials, right? You want to know, yeah, they've done work in so-and-so's house and they're happy with it. So, okay, we're going to go with that.
Would you guys prefer, because I know a lot of clients have asked, can I go and visit the job that you just did so I can go take a look at it? Carlito and I have a problem with that because now you're disturbing. Could you imagine if we did work here and all of a sudden I go, oh, by the way, Cesare and Marie, I got some complete strangers that want to walk into your house and take a look at the work.
No thanks.
Exactly. I wouldn't want them in mine as well. So, I mean, would you guys be fine with a phone call or a reference letter? Or I guess a phone call and having a conversation is a little...
We're accommodating type people too, right? Like for sure, if you called Manny and somebody wanted to see something, no problem. Others, I don't know what to tell you.
No, I think word of mouth, and you can take pictures of the work. I mean, we're good with that.
Yeah.
We could say yes, that is exactly what it looks like.
some stuff you can just look at and know it's done well, but other stuff you don't know sort of what's going on behind the scenes, right? Like if it's structurally compromised at all, right? Because the other thing that came to mind is because this is a new subdivision, so many folks have done hardscaping, and you see people who've had to do their interlock driveway more than once.
Because it
So-
started sinking.
Yep.
You know, they saved that first time, but guess what? You had to do it a second time. Some even did it a third time. So now do the math.
Is this
did you
the
really save
same-
money or not?
Same contractor, or this is different contractors?
Just no,
They've
different
they've
people.
used different
Yeah.
people.
Got it. Okay. So you know exactly what they've done, right? Or what they didn't do.
I really sometimes blame the homeowners on that. And it's unfortunate to hear it, but a lot of times you guys create a budget and say it's $10,000. And I can hear it from you guys. You guys are willing, if I educate you or tell you how I'm going to spend your money wisely, you'll be okay with it. And there's some flexibility there. But most people, they just want it done for $10,000. Some guys will just take the job because they kind of feel like they can just make some money off that, and then they cut corners. That actually costs you 2-3 times. Right now, I have a customer that 4 contractors done the same job 4 times.
Yeah.
So now I'm in their house, and I'm the 5th contractor. I'm the last contractor, but I'm now taking apart things that they had such a hard time with. It took so long, and they have this bad taste in their mouth about contractors and about the industry, and so much problems between each other now. It's not just about the contractor, the homeowners. It's about, the relationship now. They're blaming each other for who brought who in and how much they spent. And
So whose fault is it in that 4 contractor?
The wife.
four-
The
it's
wife,
always
right?
it's always the contractor. And I'm a contractor, so I'm going to say it. It's always the contractor.
It's always a contractor, but you just finished saying that it's because clients have a certain budget.
Well, let me get back to that. It's kind of contradicting, but
Okay.
as a contractor, I should be able to walk away from you guys when it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
I should tell you where you should save money and hang on until you have that money in that budget, that it's realistic. I should open your eyes up and educate you on why I'm doing it this way, not just rushing through it. The first part of it is it's my fault or the contractor's fault for not giving you all that ammunition or information, and showing you waiting a little bit longer will make the whole process run smoother, more efficient, and do it once.
I would say the contractor's a part of the fault and not completely at fault.
Well, now I'm leading to the second part. The second part is the homeowner makes that last decision.
Yes.
And they, as a contractor, I've walked away from jobs. Like, if it doesn't make any sense and they're not using the materials that I believe in, it's not that what I'm doing is the only way to do it. I know there's no failure in it. And that's why I keep that math going. It only makes sense. It never fails for me. So I have to keep that continuous. So sometimes when someone watches a TV show or goes online or goes on YouTube and they get only half the information. They never literally understand what was being said on that show or on YouTube. Anyways, at the end of the day, it's really about the homeowner agreeing, accepting, and not, making terms of, bringing up the budget or keeping it low, right?
We've always said that you guys should wait. If the budget's not there and you really want it done a certain way, then you guys should wait.
It's like on Love It or List It. I just must say. Sometimes
The one show to bring up.
Oh, right. I mean, I'm just saying that if you
Sometimes
want to
you just
love
can't
it,
do the bathroom.
you can't do the bathroom. They have to cut it off.
Yeah.
But I don't think clients like that. Like you want to get it all done for whatever
Oh, I've
amount
got
of
a
money.
story about Love It or List It.
Oh, okay, sorry. Did I bring something up?
That's my story about Love It or List It.
But
Wasn't
Sorry,
one
Manny.
of them The Bachelorette? Didn't work for decades?
I don't know
I don't
anything
know.
about that.
Oh, I don't know. I just know because I'll watch it.
But I
I'm
get
sorry,
your
Manny.
point, though, right? I get your point. If you say to me, look, Cesar, we can do this for whatever, $10,000, but there's a pretty good chance after 2 years it's going to crack or split or whatever, right? Then it's like, okay, it's on me to make that call. If I get lucky and we do it and it doesn't crack, great. But if there's a chance of something going wrong down the road, and you tell me about it, that's fine. Like I manage projects. We capture risks like that and we say what we're going to do about it if we're just going to accept it, right? That's literally what you're doing. Whereas if you want something done, 100% bulletproof, then yeah, you got to pay what it costs.
Yeah, but it's hard to pay for it the fifth time.
Oh, sure.
Oh no, yeah. For
Me and Manny were talking about this, a podcast a couple days ago. He said to me, what do you charge for a 3-piece bathroom? And I had 3 different prices.
Hang on a sec. Let's ask you guys.
Oh no, we're bad at this.
What do you think a 3-piece bathroom could cost?
There's no right or wrong answer.
I know there is no.
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
What's a 3-piece
Okay.
bathroom?
All right. So toilet 1 piece, sink 2 piece, tub shower 3rd piece.
Got it.
Well, that'd be
Okay.
a 4-piece.
That's a
kinda,
3.5
but,
kind of thing. So if it's just a tub, it's a 3-piece. If it's a tub shower, it becomes a 3 or 4 piece. Or if it's just a tub on its own and then a shower on its own, that's the same thing, right? So that's a 3-piece. So any plumbing fixture becomes a piece
Got it.
Manny, that's a really tricky question.
because it depends. I know it depends
Because
on a bunch
all the
of
finishes.
Thank you for saying that.
And if we want good quality or what kind of tile, marble, not marble. So we have no
Exactly.
idea. We're going
Exactly.
to be clear. I don't know.
How about ballpark? Let's. We don't get extremely fancy, and we still have the 3 pieces. So you've got a nice deep soaker tub, standard size, 60 by 32. You've got a nice 36-inch vanity, and you've got a nice, good toilet, not crappy $50 toilet, right? What do you guys think that bathroom should cost?
Are we adding tile in that?
Oh
Or
yeah,
that
this is
tile?
the finished bathroom. So we got tile all over the floor. So the bathroom's maybe 5 by 7.
Light fixtures.
Light fixtures. You have 2 sconces and wall, and you got maybe 4 pot lights.
Wait,
and
you're putting sconces already on the
yeah.
wall?
Okay, that's very expensive, Manny.
2 heads in the shower, 2 heads and a toe tester.
Wow.
So the 1
Whoa.
tub spot and 2 heads in the shower. So
Okay, I'm feeling that is going to be $10,000.
whoa,
Whoa! I'll give you the.
Bathrooms are expensive.
are we on the prices right? What's going on? That's not. That's
I'm
not
going
the
to
right.
go 10,001.
Wait,
I know. I was going to
No,
say
I'm
like
going to do another quote.
I was going to say like 20 grand.
There we go.
Okay,
See, that's
okay.
more in
What?
line.
Okay, usually I'm the one that's a lot
That's
closer.
more in
Good on
line.
you, Cesar.
Honestly.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Back to your
I'm gonna
numbers.
repeat myself from 2 days ago that we had this same conversation.
You were here?
Not at this home, but at an
Marie? What the hell?
That's another podcast.
I was fixing the fence.
Oh my gosh.
All this
That's
nice
the
to
best.
meet you bullshit.
Oh, I love television, or I should say radio. I was telling Manny that when I speak to customers, I first feel them out, get to know who they are. I take a look at their surroundings. That kind of gives me the idea of what level they're at or what level they should be at with their investment. This is your biggest investment. So I judge people by how clean they are, the kind of furniture, their paintings, just their lifestyle. I always ask them, do you want, and this is nothing against Hyundai, okay, but do you want a Hyundai? Do you want a Cadillac, or do you want a Ferrari? For me, there is no set price in construction. There never has been. It's about your wants, your needs, and your wish list.
I would say that if you find 3 contractors that are all in the same league they will be well within each other. I'd say 10 to 15%. percent They should be. So whatever, let's say for an argument's sake, bathroom 10,000, you are going to get a guy maybe at 11,000, another guy maybe at 9,000. Those are the three guys that you want to talk to. But then you'll get a fly-by-night guy who'll come in at 6,000. You'll be like, whoa, what's going on there? You get another guy who probably comes in at 15 or 16,000. What's going on there?
You can do a bathroom at $10,000 to $12,000. That's not including WSIB. That's not including your HST. Again, we were talking about this earlier. That's
Cash.
26%. That goes on top of the cost of the bathroom. And that also determines on, some people buy materials for cash and it drops the price, which makes it more affordable for people. If you get that $10,000 bathroom, you're basically buying a car with no automatic windows. You're going to have to open the window. You get into the Cadillac, where on the first home, you didn't have radiant floor heating. Now you have some radiant floor heating on the second Cadillac version. On the Ferrari, you have towel warmers, you have coffered ceilings, you have crown molding, you have wainscoting. You have a curbless, you have no doors on your shower. Saying that you're going Ferrari doesn't, for some people, like, oh, I don't need to go Ferrari. But when you think of your home, I always tell people, don't think that this is your home for life. You never know when you're going to have a divorce. You never know when you're going to get sick, when something's going to change. So think realistically, don't get too personal. Do the right things, investments.
I kind of disagree with that. I'm sorry to say, I kind of disagree with that. I think you should spend as much money as possible to build the house that you want to a certain level.
Yes.
I think I was surprised when I think we spoke to a designer or something. They said that people are changing they're renovating in 10-year increments. I was shocked by that, to hear that. Can you imagine this kitchen? You guys are ready to look at this kitchen and going, let's start talking about changing it. No, because you guys went through what you went through to get this kitchen to begin with. So that's why I disagree with the 10-year. I think it's more 15, 20. At that point, you start wanting to change certain things. Maybe the kitchen starts to fall apart. But I think bathrooms, maybe 10, 15 years for sure. But I think you should, if you're building your master, I think it should be your master and not the for sale sign master or the potential divorce master. You know what I mean? Or the potential health master. I think you should prepare for some of that, but not kind of predict that it will happen. So we should pull back. I think there should be a middle ground. That's just my thought.
And I think most people build for what they want exactly for in that minute, right? But I appreciate what you're saying. But would you agree most people just kind of build what they want exactly? And
you're right. People do this. This is what I'm trying to change. Not everyone will agree with me, but here's a perfect example. I've known this lady for over 12 years. I've got to know her well. I never did a renovation because I was too expensive for her. It wasn't that my labor was expensive. It's just I was going to go with pocket beams. That means like flowing ceilings, no bulkheads. I was going to add like all the little bells and whistles. I would have made her choose a color that was safe, but kind of daring because you can change colors personally. Now she's chosen cabinets that are cream, colors that are skin colored, and the house she has to sell. And now she's already spent what she had saved for 20 years to do her kitchen. And it's so personal. Now when you walk in, you look at it and you're like, oh my God, you can't sell this. It's great for you and you love it. But how do you make your money back on this now? This
Once
was
again,
an investment.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think you should personalize it, but not extreme makeover Ty Pennington personalize it. Don't put a tree in your kitchen.
Well, that's what I'm trying to lead to. I'm trying to say when you
choose your colors, choose your bold colors.
Be safe but personal at the same time.
I think you should choose just your personality. If you guys are planning on being here for the next 2 decades, make it yours. But don't go crazy extreme, I think, right? I wanted to ask you guys a bunch of questions on perception of contractors. Contractor shows up to give you guys a quote, and they roll in with a Honda Civic and a magnet slapped on the side.
Okay.
Next day, the contractor shows up, and he's in a van or pickup truck, clean, and decals all over the truck. What is your perception of the two contractors there? Ladders on top of the Honda Civic on a makeshift bungee cord roof rack.
First impressions, I think, have an impact, right?
So they speak volumes here.
Sure. You want somebody put together, I don't know.
Let's say both prices are the same.
Okay.
Let's say both prices are the same.
I would want to, I don't know, don't we want like some references?
What was that Will Smith movie, Pursuit of Happiness, where he finally makes it to this interview and he doesn't have his shirt on?
He doesn't have a shirt.
And he goes, and the guy goes to him, "What would you say to a guy who wants a job and he doesn't have a shirt on?" "Well, he better have nice pants." So if you talk to them both, and I don't know, the Honda Civic guy with the decal convinces you, then that's the guy, I guess. But yeah, for sure, you're going to spend money. You're already anxious of what it's going to cost, and can you trust this person to do a good job, right? So you're looking for signs that you can trust them, right?
But that first sign of seeing that Honda Civic, for argument's sake, listen, I drove a Honda Civic when I was a kid, right? But it converts into a nice work truck when you set it up. But if you guys have that gut feeling when you first see it and you're like, oh, what's this all about? But then, talking the walk and everything, and then they start saying the right things and their quotes are in line and now they're very professional and they're inside your house, then you guys will still consider that person. You're not going to say, no, he's got the Honda Civic. That doesn't look really right.
I would think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You
I
would
agree.
listen.
Here's the other question. What if the two contractors, one comes in, track pants covered in paint and just disheveled, but the workmanship is amazing, versus a guy who's got company shirt logos and pristine clean work pants? Not pristine clean, but they've been cleaned. Are you guys going to be nervous about the track pant guy? Or are you going to be... Work is still the same.
I don't know. First impressions are important
First
too,
impressions.
right? A
Go
package
ahead,
deal.
man. It's a podcast. You don't need to put your hand up.
I definitely want to tell you my opinion because
Go ahead.
A lot of this is me and the people I work with. So I'm going to speak from my actual experience.
I'm anti-track pants on a job site.
So-
That's all I'm saying.
So I'm a very passionate guy. You guys, you're just going to have to take my word on that. I'm very passionate with everything I do. A lot of times I don't have time or the money to put into my vehicle to fix it or clean it. So I'm so busy, but my work is 100%. People are always happy with me. I always fix everything and clean everything that everyone else has messed up. I could come here with my BMW. I could come here with my rusty van. I could come here with my 450. It's hard to judge someone like that. And I do remember when I had my Honda Civic and I was working out of my car, I was just as passionate as I am now. Another thing that's changed is we have things like Reno Run now. So you don't actually necessarily have to have a truck. You should. You should have at least a truck. It doesn't have to look brand new. It doesn't have to be old. Sometimes I found that the guys on Instagram or the guys in construction that look the cleanest and are, marketed the proper way, those are the guys going out of business. Those are the guys not finishing the jobs. There's also the guys with the Civics don't have the tools. They're the guys with the aerobie tools. They're missing something. They're in and out of your house all day instead of just focusing and working on your house. Like, you could get me and Manny, there's enough tools in our truck to do 10 different trades in one house. So I don't have to go anywhere but my truck. But my truck doesn't look as nice as Manny's. Manny's is all decked out. It's really beautiful. He's organized his life, and he knows his schedule and how to make his money in his 40 hours.
I have a tile guy, a sub-trade, right? So he told me about a job where he had a client. He was trying to fit it in, like we talked earlier about just trying to sneak in this job and get it done. But this client refused to let him inside his house if he looked dirty. He just did not want him to work or even bring it in. Doesn't matter if he brought in drop cloths or anything like that. The client just said, no, come back when you're cleaner looking. I don't like that because, if he set up, and my argument with the Civic guy is that I don't think that individual might do a trail of cleanliness, you know what I mean? And prepare everything to get to the job site. Because the last thing we want is dust everywhere and you guys freaking out and things like that, right? So that's why there is that misconception. I gave a unfair, I think, because if they're doing, quotes are the same and the work is the same, just the vehicles are different. But I agree with you too that first impressions do say something.
I'm not surprised by what you said, Carlito, that sometimes the cover of the book looks pretty and then you go in and it's crap, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised by that either.
I did want to say another thing is right now I'm, busting out someone else's t-shirt, representing, because, I come into their store so often that they always give me gear, so I get to wear it for work. That should keep me somewhat clean at a job site and advertise for them if I don't have my own shirts. I will tell you 80% of the time, I have 2 blown knees. I got 6 herniated discs. I'm a mess, but I'm moving forward. It doesn't affect anyone. No one ever really knows that. I wear track pants. I don't wipe my hands in my pants. That's one thing I don't do. I don't put chemicals in my hands. That means anything from powder to liquid form. I'm intelligent enough to cover my eyes with safety glasses. I cover my hands with gloves. I wear masks or use vacuums when I'm mixing product. I see a lot of guys, they're wiping it in their pants. And Manny, you're totally right. When a guy comes in filthy and stuff's like crumbs are dropping on the customer's floor from their pants, or, you could see wet on their pants. You're just like, what are you doing, man? Like, there's a rag for that.
I've had guys come by here on their way from work, right? So they're a mess.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry, but I'm coming from work. And yeah, I get it, buddy. No problem, right?
But it's also hard to get a good guy. If a guy is dirty, but you feel your gut instinct, your instincts is this guy is a really good person. I think we're going to have a good experience with this person. It doesn't really matter what you look like or dress like.
Do you both decide during the process of interviewing somebody, or is it left to the lady of the house, like the analysts say it is?
I think I initiate all projects. The thought of all projects.
That's good.
For sure.
Definitely.
Which is what
I'm about 4 projects ahead right now. Just letting everybody know.
Which is what came to mind when you said it's got to flip every 10, 15 years. As a guy, I don't even think about
Caesar
it. Like,
thinks that we will never do the kitchen. He is so wrong.
so she'll mention a job. I'm like, holy shit, we still have to do X, Y, and Z. Why are you even thinking of this stuff?
Your kitchen's beautiful, by the way. I'm on Caesar's side. You don't have to do anything in here.
I think you got
We'll see.
5-6 years. I think you got. So you begin it. Do
Yeah.
you finalize it? Is it your final decision?
No, I think we do that together. I don't know. Caesar's looking at me
no.
like,
The
maybe
industry
not.
the industry tells me that it's her. She has the
no.
final say.
I remember we were talking to somebody once, and some sales lady, and she goes, yeah, usually it's the woman who decides this. And Marie's like, yeah, not in this case.
This case, he wants to be there and pick out the color.
Yeah. And to be honest, it works out well. I think usually what she
I
has
usually
in
win,
mind.
though. I do usually win.
Oh, so it's a competition, is what you're saying? Okay.
No, it's just because I might say something and he's kind of like, I don't know about that. And then the professional agrees with me. That's a win.
Oh yeah. Then
Well,
we can't
Are they
forget
normally
that.
a woman?
Well,
Yes.
if they're anything like Caesar, they're smart because Caesar's very diplomatic. I learned that this morning when we were setting up.
Yeah, that is true.
But wouldn't you say, like, you definitely have the first idea 100% of the time.
Yes,
and
that is
then
correct.
as we talk through things, we kind of make it better.
Sure, it
exchanging
grows.
ideas. And then, if there's a professional person who gets involved, obviously they do their part as well. We're involved. Like, we talk it out, everything. I don't ever say, you decide this. No, like everything we have to agree on.
Do you guys like talking to the entire crew, or would you guys just prefer to talk to the point person that you started the job with?
Sometimes it's been where the point person isn't here, so you have to talk to the crew.
So you have
Right.
no problem speaking to the entire crew.
No, but they sometimes can't always answer the questions, so you have to go back to your contact
Yeah, I
person.
think
That brings up
it's-
another point where you get the salespeople that come in, do a great job on the sale, and then you never see this person ever again, to the point where you want to Photoshop wanted signs and put it on your house going, where is this individual?
And I think that's deterred us from using certain people. Like, I'm thinking landscaping right now, but we haven't used people because we feel like, there's a salesperson, and we haven't talked to the person who actually does
But again,
the work.
if they're upfront with that too, I'm cool, right? Like right now, what comes to mind is when we had the electrical done after the fact, and that was like a small army of people who came, and I feel like there was the lead guy who talked to us, and then we just kind of texted to stay aligned going into the actual job, and then I think it was 3 guys who showed up here, and even from those 3 guys, quickly had a rapport with the one guy that I was talking to. You make it work, I would say. But obviously, the easiest thing is to just talk to the one guy, and the one guy makes it happen.
So the biggest problem I find is that when I'm dealing with a couple, who do I actually make the last decision with? Because the one thing as a contractor I hate is that you're both speaking to me at different times with 2 different looks at the project.
Yes.
No matter how much you guys think you're on the same page. And that can really change the dynamics between the contractor and the client and how the project goes on timing, schedule, and budget.
You guys are fine if we ask you guys,
Well, the
one person becomes a point person
That's
from
right.
you guys, and then you guys decide on who has the final decision, or you guys don't do that.
No, we'll do it together.
And
So
would
you'll
do
have
it
it.
together.
Okay, but that gets us back.
Or it's going to be me.
No, we
Right?
we no, we work together, right? Sometimes she's available and I'm not, or vice versa, right? So you got to deal with who's around. But I literally remember, again, with we put some light fixtures outside, so I literally on the phone FaceTiming Marie so she can see
Perfect.
what the guy is asking for, right?
Perfect.
Or I've done the same with him.
Yeah.
Like one of us can be the point person, but we would be conferring with the other.
I wonder how many of those situations you could predict who is going to get divorced and not divorced.
You wouldn't believe how bad it is between couples
Yeah.
and renovations. You could have an amazing relationship and be at a beautiful point of getting your dream project, and after a renovation, you guys hate each other, want a divorce. It's horrible.
That's why it's called divorce dust. That's a fact, right? So it just is.
Well, it's such a financial commitment, right?
Yes.
And you don't want to go over budget necessarily, or you don't want to be ignored.
That brings up a great point. Like, okay, so let's say you guys are doing $100,000 reno, and you guys got to give up a deposit check. You just met this person weeks earlier, and you're giving up, let's say, 10 grand. How's that feeling?
Not
Because
good.
we've heard of stories, and we just recently did a podcast with another program that's starting out called Reno Shield, where they protect both parties. And they were telling us, what was the number? Is
50,000 to start with.
No, sorry. No.
Okay, sorry.
How many people have been taken advantage of their deposit checks where they're not contractors, they're
I
fraudsters?
forget the exact number.
I
Sorry.
can't remember the exact number, but I think 1 in 7.
Wow. If you need money to buy the materials, which is totally fair, then it's, and I'm not 100% comfortable with you yet, then it's got to be in my name, right? So at least I get the material. Even if you disappear on me, I should own the material as opposed to you just taking this check.
Well,
and
just so you
disappearing.
know, I used to be in a show, and I won't mention the name. I'm very proud of it, but I won't mention it. And on this show, 90% of the time that people were taken advantage of, the contractor would buy all the toilets, the tiles, the hardwood, the plywood, the 2x4s, and he'd fill your house up with about $50,000 worth of material. Then he'd take you for another 100. There has to be a fine balance.
In all fairness, in that show, that wasn't always the scope of reality.
These were realistic.
No, I mean in reality of construction terms. So that show basically went into
We found the worst of the worst.
exactly, but
Yeah.
you went into homeowners that were taking advantage of contractors. But there is a segment of the population that homeowners take advantage of
Yes.
contractors,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's
So
that's
contractors are still taken advantage of as much as I think, if not more, than homeowners being taken advantage of by contractors.
As in-
Did that make sense? Did I say that right?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Yeah.
But
So his
it's-
show was all about contractors taking advantage of homeowners, but I disagree with that. Where I think the reflection of the industry and what's really out there is homeowners are taking advantage of contractors more than vice versa.
as in not paying them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't say that was actual the facts. I'm saying that typically that's the MO of a fraudster. You are right. A lot of homeowners actually put themselves in a lot of bad situations, and there are more homeowners that actually screw over contractors than contractors screwing over homeowners.
It's a funny industry because when you guys get into a relationship with a contractor and you have to do a job, you have a gut-wrenching feeling in the beginning because you just met this person. They're a stranger. They're coming into your home. They're going to be doing work. You don't really know them just by referrals, I guess, from friends or family or the web. And then at the end of the project, you have to give up that last payment. And some homeowners don't want to do it because of little here and there's that you did this wrong, you did that wrong. So we feel that we don't want to pay your last $10,000. So we're going to pay you your last $1,000.
So it comes down to contracts. Do you guys like contracts, really detailed contracts, or do you guys still deal with the handshake?
Not today, man. You can't.
No,
deal with
there's
a handshake.
contracts, but sometimes they change so often they're not always being updated.
I wouldn't
right?
even shake
That
a hand with
happens.
family members sometimes, man.
I've never seen like a super detailed
Yeah.
contract for home related work.
Carlito has a 14-page contract. Would you be intimidated by that?
No, I would appreciate that, but that's
Wow,
me.
it's one of the very few. Out of 10 projects I overview, I only get one. And that's because typically the people are so afraid. They're either not serious, they're looking for a second and third price. 2, it intimidates them. They don't feel comfortable enough to ask me what these things mean, or even take the contract to a lawyer for free to overview, or somebody that's a family member that would understand the diction of it all. And 3, they think that 14-page contract is only protecting me, but that 14-page contract is protecting both of us. It's details. If it's not on that contract, I'm not doing it. So there's nothing to argue about. So if there's an extra, typically I make you pay for the extra, because if we come to a point where I can't move forward and it becomes an extra, I get you to pay for that extra, I finish it, and then we're back on the contract again. And then we continue forward again.
That brings up a good point, because this program, Reno Shield, is actually just getting started. And would you guys feel more comfortable if there was a program where you move money digitally into an escrow account, and then once the contractor finishes the work, you approve that, and then that money's sent off to them? Would you guys feel a lot more comfortable instead of handing over a big $10,000 check just to get things started?
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
so.
yeah, off the top of my head, I think so. It makes sense.
A little bit of ease, right? Because I've told Carlito, like the last few jobs I've done, every sub-trade has wanted to get paid e-transfer. We're living more in a digital age where, and I'm sure you guys do this too, where when you are looking at your next 4 projects where he's not, you're already looking at Pinterest and House and getting ideas and talking to people. So everything is not coming from hard publication or you guys going out to showrooms. You guys are actually starting the ball rolling from a digital landscape first, and then going that way. I've always argued that he's a little bit of a dinosaur where, he's a little bit of a dinosaur, right?
That is the best dinosaur impression ever.
I thought it was him trying to form a word. That's what I thought that was. But most contractors, I'd say 95% are using the digital landscape now to communicate with everybody. All my clients go on social media to follow the work progress. So if that's a good thing. So, and then all the leads are coming from a digital platform and everything's going. So the word of mouth has become a digital word of mouth, which I think is really important to say. So would you guys agree with that?
If a friend or family member has used somebody, then there's obviously a different level of trust going in. But otherwise, yeah, everything is digital now, right? So you're accustomed to to just using it, leveraging it as much as possible. So yeah, makes sense.
Are you nervous seeing? And I'm not going to hate on the millennials here, because I've received a couple of DMs saying, tone down the hate on millennials, Manny. There are some really good, hardworking millennials. There are. And I work with them, and I've seen them, and I've met with them, and they're great. Do you guys get nervous if a crew comes in and they're mostly of a younger age group versus the old? Come on. You guys are Italian, so the old school European guys coming in that have the tricks, and you're like pretty impressed that they're 70, 80 years old and they can still pull off stuff. And then you get these young guys that are on their phones more, holding their Starbucks cup, showing up in a Mercedes coupe. Do you guys have that perception too? Or do you guys, oh no, he's good, so just wave that away from them?
I think that is for sure a general perception that the younger generation just doesn't have the pride to do the work well. The work habits are not great. Yeah, we're Italian, and you've had the displeasure of meeting my father.
No, it's entertaining.
I remember the displeasure.
The foreman, the one that comes over and
my shoulders are
investigates.
still sore. It's just like
So we're standing outside because he was when they were doing the work, any work, he's around, and Manny can attest to that.
I love it.
So he's standing out there with me, and the first guy arrives, and he's walking to the house, and my father couldn't even look at him from the way he was walking.
It sounds like my father.
Right? It was like
Okay, that's
a
just
comedy.
overdone.
It's a
Overdone.
comedy sketch, right? But
Yeah,
it's
it's a bit much.
Just from the way the kid was walking, it's like, this is bad news. This is not a good worker. You know what I mean? So
was he?
no,
He was a good worker.
no, he was not a good worker.
It's amazing. My mother used to do the same thing with my girlfriends. I'd bring them home and she'd say, "Get her out of here."
That's a whole other podcast.
No, but it's about when you've been in the industry, you just know the way a person walks.
It's their
or
attitude.
talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they
I
present
agree.
themselves.
I agree.
I love it. I love it.
It's like I remember Chris Rock one time saying that when he was single, he'd bring girls home to meet his mother just to let her see that he was dating. And he goes, sometimes I didn't know any nice girls, so I try to pass off a hoe as a nice girl. So they'd be having dinner, and the mother would be talking to the hoe, and everything would be going well. And then the hoe would go to the bathroom, and the mother would be like, baby, I think she's a hoe.
Oh man, I love it.
I don't know how we got here.
I
That's
don't.
Caesar.
Younger,
Younger
perceptions.
perceptions are often reality, right?
It's true.
I know, because I've
It's
spoken
so
to some
true.
guys that are in their late 20s, and they're actually custom building homes, and they have a hard time walking into a homeowner's current home, and they look at them and going, okay, so when's your boss arriving? They're really well established, and they've done 2-3 homes already underneath them.
Like, I don't think age should be something we consider as, oh, you're not good enough. I think it's more the whole package that we
Yeah.
were talking about. Like,
Yeah,
we want
definitely.
you to be serious. You got to be on time.
Oh, that's a big one.
well-
On time is a big one.
But
Yeah.
like, those are things that count, right? For somebody who's spending that kind of money.
I just
You
went to go
want
do a
that.
quote where it was in Toronto West, and the appointment was set for 9 a.m. Right, so I had no problem, and all of a sudden I scheduled my ways, and I there's traffic. It's Toronto, right? And I arrived literally 20 minutes before. I sat in my van, caught up with my social media. I hopped out of my van 10 minutes before, and he was already on the porch, and he was like, "You're on time." And I'm like, "Wasn't I supposed to be?" He goes, "That's normally not the case." Time is a big thing. Yeah, I think
I
guys
think
need
it
to
is.
understand. If you set up an appointment at a certain time, you don't show up at that time. You show up 10, 15 minutes like you said.
And unfortunately, this is the thing: when you're hiring a contractor, you're not asking the personal questions that you might have to ask and do investigations like, "Hey, do you have any new babies in your life?"
Fishing.
When you have a kid between 1 and 8, I can guarantee you the guy's going to be showing up 9, 10 o'clock every day, and he's going to be leaving at 4 o'clock, and he's going to have to leave guys behind because he's a young guy trying to juggle his wife and his child and his business. And those are other things that you have to investigate when hiring a younger contractor. But I'll tell you, 60% of my work that I sub out are to younger guys. And I've been in this industry over 30 years. I am a dinosaur for many reasons. And one of them is I've learned to develop new skills, but what we have available now in tools and techniques, wow, it's amazing. And only a youngster can be up to speed in these things unless you're doing what Manny does, going out to all the shows, educating yourself, keeping yourself updated with that kind of education.
That brings up a good point. We always have fun on the podcast, and I'm curious. I don't even know if I know this about you, Cesar. What tool brand are you? And are you? I don't want to disrespect you, Maria. Are you? What tool brand are you?
Yeah, I don't have any tools.
I was going to say Makita.
I'm just
love
the idea
Makita.
person.
Okay, all right. So, what
I'm
tool
the
brand
idea
are
tool.
you leaning towards, Cesar? Like, what do you have in the garage there in the basement?
So just so you know, when he came to help with the built-in, I had a table saw and a miter saw, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a little bit Fisher Price."
I won't say the brand. I won't say
Does that
the brand.
sound like Manny? Does that?
Oh, yeah. And he was being nice.
So I gave him my saws. I was like, "Here, go ahead, use these ones." Right?
So wait a second. You're a Bosch man.
No.
No, worse. This was the Ryobi. You mentioned it before.
No, and don't get me wrong. I believe that Ryobi is for homeowners. It's for people that need
Totally.
to fix things around
And
their
he's
house.
a homeowner, so it's perfect.
Totally.
It's perfect.
I wanted to get 3 jobs out of it, 3 projects out of it, and that was my objective going in. It's like, okay, I know this is not good quality, but it's gonna get me these 3 jobs, and I'll be done
It's good
with it.
quality if you maintain it and don't abuse it. But when you're cutting pieces of wood and you're cutting 1,000 2x4s
Professionals.
and 200
Yeah.
2x6s and you're cutting LVLs and you need something that's commercial and it's strong. That's why I go with Hilti.
Here we go. This podcast is not bought to you by Hilti.
The dinosaur.
So, what brand would you lean towards? Are you still Ryobi, or did you buy anything that's a little more?
If I really needed something that for longer term, I don't know. Is Bosch any good? I don't know.
Wait a minute. What's your dad have?
You know what he would do? He would just ask his dad, or he'd ask you, Manny.
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking. I'm trying to think of what your dad has.
No, he's just got.
He's got a mix match. Yeah,
mishmash of shit.
because he was a crane op, right? So he wasn't really on the tools that much, right?
Yeah, he's got a mixed bag.
But he
you
does
can't-
have some stuff.
Yeah, but some,
You know what, Caesar? there is really no right and wrong in tools. It's a big gag that me and Manny do all the time. It does show us what level you're at, how serious you are, how many projects you've actually done in construction. It will kind of give us like a guideline of how much knowledge you do have. It does show character.
I respect
Sure.
the work that a contractor does, doesn't matter with what brand that they do it with. You know what I mean?
For
Yeah.
sure.
I rather, it's that whole argument about you can give a brand new tool to a useless idiot. He's still not going to be able to build something nice, but you can give a crappy tool to a really skilled,
Yeah.
and they'll do a great job.
And-
I just want to ask you guys what you think things cost. A typical kitchen, a new kitchen today without appliances, what do you think you should allocate for a budget for a new kitchen? Let's say the kitchen that we're in right now, which is, I'm going to say linear feet wise, you've got about 25 linear feet of counter space. You've got a separate range and ovens, and you've got a sink and fridge, dishwasher, and you're going full up to
But
9
there's
feet.
all the bells and whistles are in here.
What do you guys think this would cost today?
50,000.
I was going to go 60.
Wow, very
you
realistic.
guys are pretty good.
I would have said 45.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
All right.
What do you guys think a plumber charges to install a fixture?
Too much.
It's a good answer, actually. What do you guys think, honestly?
A plumber will charge
To come here
a
and
toilet,
hook up a toilet.
Not with buying the toilet, just installing
Just install
it.
Just
Oh,
the
yeah.
installation?
Yeah.
250.
Okay, I'm going to go 250. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, that's not bad.
You're way off.
The price is around 350 to 500.
Really?
Twice.
I'm not surprised.
Oh.
What do you guys
Okay.
think it costs to install a single recessed light, a pot light?
Ooh, we've done this.
I know. You guys mentioned it
So
earlier.
one,
Just one.
okay, $100.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Anywhere from 120, 110, 120.
Well, I'd say 90 to 160. I know it's a huge
Depends.
leap, but it
Depends.
depends on, yes.
Yeah. What
I
do
mean,
you-
I said $100. Not that I really want to pay that, but
well, wait,
I
so
get it.
we're going back to, oh, that's not what you guys want to pay, but you guys are kind of answering.
no, we're just thinking that's realistic.
This is what the industry is asking for.
Yeah.
What do you guys think a whole new set of windows and doors for a whole house? Because this is a 10-year-old house, so realistically, your windows are going to need replacing in the
Shut
next
up, Manny.
10.
Shut up.
Oh, wait.
I'm not on that project yet.
Caesar, don't forget triple pane.
Triple pane is only for sound, guys. Do not listen to anybody saying anything otherwise. It is just for sound. It is night and day difference for sound.
If you're by a road or a train tracks.
Yeah, so if you guys want to, no, not so much, but if there's a lot of sound, if you're downtown where you are,
Yeah.
Bullard and Bathurst, right? It's sound. If you want to park it on your second floor, you guys will sleep a lot better. So what do you guys think a window package? Normally 25 windows and doors are in an average home.
have
What do you
no
think how much
idea.
money is spent
So
on that?
doors too, right?
Doors too. Your front door, your garage door, your side door. We all know what front doors can cost.
Wait a second.
That's
Are we
right,
going
yeah.
blue collar? Or are we going white collar?
We're gonna go. Let's go mid. I just want to get an idea.
Okay, so
what you
white
guys-
collar.
Yeah,
I don't know.
50,000.
he's not bad.
Yeah,
Not bad at all.
I would say about that amount too.
Not bad at all. What do you guys think a single garage door costs with the opener?
With the opener.
Couple grand.
One of them?
One.
Yeah, I would say about 2,500.
Well, you guys that's pretty good. Okay. What do you guys think hourly wise trades make? Finished carpenter. What should a finished carpenter charge?
That's baseboards, doors, casings.
Trim, hanging a door.
On
Yes.
an hourly basis for their labor.
Yes. Just for the labor. We're not even talking material here. No, just for the labor.
I don't know.
I'm gonna guess $100 an hour.
Wow, I'm becoming a
Can you
trim
sign this
carpenter.
contract right now and just no? Anywhere from 45 to 55, maybe as high as 65.
I usually say $45 to $65.
Tile setter. What do you guys think they charge per square foot for a large format and also for mosaic? What do you guys think they charge per square foot, not including the tile material?
We didn't do our homework.
I know these are just.
we're
I'm trying to
feeling
get
a
your
bit
perception.
unprepared.
I'm totally trying to get your perception on what you guys think this industry is
Per tile, did you say?
per square foot. So these are 2 foot by 2 foot in the floor in the kitchen here. So there's 4 square feet per.
And that's how they charge is per square foot.
Generally, yeah. Tile set installers will charge per square foot.
$3 a square foot.
Whoa! Who's the caveman now?
Oh my goodness.
You're anywhere from honestly like 15 to 18 for large
No.
format. And mosaic can get as high as 25 to 30, depending on if it's glass or even more intricate.
Marble.
Marble, you're into 30s and 40s a square foot to install.
Wow.
There's a lot of detail in those prices.
There's involved, right? But
We're just cutting it short right now, so I don't want listeners thinking that they can just go charge for that.
you can find a guy
for
that's $2-3 a square foot. It's just I don't think he will have a valid Canadian passport. That's all I'm going to say.
when this house was being built, the laborers were getting $3 a square if they're lucky. If you hired someone to do this job today, it should be between 14 and 21. 14 being for the floor. That means, using self-leveler, using the Ditra, screwing down the floors.
That's a great point, because there's a lot of, we keep on going back to this $1 that a contractor makes isn't a dollar that they're taking home. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's attached to every single trade.
It's being taxed like 65 to 70%.
No, the material costs,
right?
the operating costs, all that stuff, right? I wanted to ask you guys, what's the most important room in your house? Hands down, the most important room on two different levels. The most aesthetically pleasing important room and the most functional pleasing room in the house.
Kitchen.
Caesar?
Yeah, I was going to say the kitchen.
The kitchen.
Yeah.
What's the least important function aesthetic room in the house?
In our case,
They're all important, Manny.
Okay, I think so.
Well,
we're addressing our master bedroom last.
Why?
It's just because it happened to be that way, but not because it's the least important.
Room by room, you guys are taking. So if you make mistakes in other rooms, you take all those mistakes and bring it to the master bedroom?
Well,
I think
that's a plus.
Don't worry, girls. Your rooms are okay. Ours is going to be amazing.
yeah, you guys, we slopped some paint on. We're good.
No, instead, I think the main floor, because people see it, right? You want to get it quickly, to a nice level. And then, I've got daughters. I wanted their rooms to be done well, quickly. And it just so happened, the master bedroom was last. Just yesterday, we were laughing about the fact that at one point we were sleeping with the box spring right on the floor.
Oh, I remember those days.
It was months.
We don't even know how long.
It was months.
That's pretty embarrassing.
In this house.
Oh, in this house?
In this
I was
house.
talking about my 20s.
No,
man.
Something
Yeah.
broke and we didn't buy anything to replace it, and we just kind of made do, right?
Oh,
Because it's the
but
last thing you do.
But those are the funnest years.
Yeah, well,
That was
I don't know about
inside the last 10 years, man. I wasn't in my 20s. It was just...
What's the runner-up to the kitchen? What's the second most important room?
I would say the bathrooms.
Master? All of them or just master?
I would say the master.
The master bathroom?
I mean, all the bathrooms are important to be functional and updated. And
But we did that one first, right?
we did the powder
Powder
room
room.
first.
Because you guys went back to guests coming by. That's the only one they're going to use. They're not going to go upstairs. They're definitely not going to go downstairs because it looks like concrete still, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Perfect.
there
Manny?
is no bathroom.
So
My number 2 is the family room. I really enjoy it.
But there's
I
never
never
much to
expected you-
do in a family room.
Yeah.
You can do some coppered ceiling, crown molding, some wainscoting, a building.
Yeah.
There's not really that much detail to a living room unless you get into fireplaces and
But you probably
mantles.
spend more time in a family room than you do in a kitchen.
I mean,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe not. I think you spend
both
more
rooms
time.
Are used a lot.
You asked me. I would say master bathroom is the most important room in my opinion.
I'm also pretty much, I include the bathroom and the master bedroom as one.
Yeah, it's one unit.
Definitely the most important. I'm the one making the money. I have to deal with my wife. If I don't have a happy life, I don't have a happy wife. So the same way goes both ways, right? And the kitchen definitely, because there's just way too much stuff and you got to feed yourself and guests. So those are my two favorites.
Is there anything wrong in this kitchen for you guys? I'm sure, Marie, you found a few. She's got a list already.
Probably.
What would you have wrong in this kitchen? There's nothing. You've got tons of storage. You
I
can
would-
visually see everything. It's super clean.
My only problem is I got just like a quarter of an espresso bag left. That's my big problem with the kitchen right now.
That's a major
Which I will
problem.
fix today.
That's a
I will
major
get on that
problem.
today.
You know what? If I were to do anything again, I would just reconfigure some of the upper cabinetry, like just have it look a little different. But I mean, I do like this. I would be sacrificing storage to do that, which isn't always my favorite.
If I was your contractor, I would tell you to just stay away from this kitchen. It's beautiful. There's nothing you need in here. I would say open concept maybe.
Yeah,
and
I
get
was-
it.
to this man.
I was
Listen,
considering
Marie.
that.
I
think
would-
this
that looks
would
like
be nice
low
to
I would
get rid
rather
of
see you
this.
spend your money on some really nice, classy details. I love copper ceilings and crowns and just the things that really, you could be sitting on that couch and you'll look up at those coffers and go, those are beautiful coffers.
No, don't worry. I'll show up in 10 years and rip this kitchen out.
I'll take it.
It'll still be in great condition. You got to pull the trigger on the basement. You guys will definitely use that space. No?
I do
What do
wanna
you guys
do it,
think
but
that
Cesar's not
basement's
ready yet.
What's the budget on the basement? Realistic budget, because I'm assuming in the basement, rec room area,
Mm-hmm.
gym area, storage, home theater.
Not so much the home theater and like maybe a place to hang out and watch
So
TV. but
a
we're
rec
okay with-
area,
yeah, and
kitchenette.
little kitchenette,
Pool
would be
table?
good.
That's part of the rec area.
Yeah.
Bathroom, definitely a bathroom, right?
Yeah,
What else can we put down there?
yeah, just the storage, the workout area. I think that's it. Like kind of open.
So what do you guys think
This
that
is
costs?
I found the picture. This is my favorite thing in my basement.
He's showing us a picture
Oh, that's wicked.
of a backboard with two 2x6s that are holding it up.
Put it up this backboard for myself. The rim is almost 7 feet up high.
Wow.
And I use it every day, pretty much. My wife can attest to it because
And
it
it
makes
makes
a ton
so
of noise.
much
Yeah.
noise. It's ridiculous.
So you need some sound.
Yeah, I
You need
know.
some sound.
Because of the cost, honestly, I don't want to do it. I can't imagine, justifying the kind of money that's required down
Oh,
there.
come on.
But what do you
Don't be
guys think? What
ridiculous.
do you guys think it costs? How many square
Over
feet down there?
$100,000
I'm going to say
for sure.
1,500 square feet down there, right?
Yeah, like it's
I'm going to say about 1,500.
Yeah, that's a fair
So
guess.
you're saying just over 100,000 to make that?
easily, I would say.
That's fantastic. I'll take the job.
If you guys
I mean,
did
it all
it
depends
yourself,
on the finishes, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I would guess it just keeps going up. So what is it now? 150? Like
possibly.
That's really
I don't know.
crazy classy. When I say $40,000 or $50,000 for a basement, it's looking like 40 or 50,000. When you get into 80, 90,000, 100, you're really starting to get a beautiful product. And 150, you've got crazy details that everyone's going to be talking about when they leave your house, right?
We just don't want it to look any better than the first floor. That would be pretty bad.
but it has to look complementary to the
yeah,
first
definitely
floor.
complimentary, but we don't want it to be the best floor, and everything else is kind of like, oh, okay.
But you'll use that space. That's why it's going to be valuable space, right?
Yeah, we would use it.
You totally would use it.
I don't know.
Yes, we would.
I haven't met anybody who hasn't done their basement and not use it. They've always used it.
Can I ask you guys, how do you feel about a laundry room on the bedroom floor?
I'm a fan.
Yeah, that would be convenient for me because I'm always having to bring everything down, right?
Because you got to
So-
climb
Yeah.
up and down to do laundry. When everybody gets undressed upstairs and then you just
Yeah,
throw it in the
everything
laundry.
is upstairs pretty much.
It's done.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like it because of the noise. Because normally when you set the timer for the washing and dryer, it's late at night, right?
Yeah, that's not too convenient, that part.
Because you'll be down here in the family room or the kitchen using it, and then all of a sudden you're doing laundry, so now you got to climb. So I guess how many times I still like the laundry on the second floor.
Yeah, me too. Realistically talking, when you hire a contractor, he gives you 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or sometimes you get into a project that is going to take 6 months to a year. How realistic are you guys about that contractors do get sick and do have to go on vacations? And how do you feel about that?
While the work is going on.
Getting sick is, you can't plan that, right? But if you've got a vacation, yeah, I mean, just let me know in advance and
I think it's all
enjoy.
about being upfront. Like
Yep.
if we know that it's going to take 6 months because there's a vacation or there is that's fine. I mean, if you're getting sick, nobody can predict that, so we get that.
We're talking coronavirus here?
You just have to take your vitamin C, you'll be fine.
Yeah, wash your hands.
What's the make or break? What's the break of a contractor coming in to price your job? What is it that just makes you feel like, I don't want to use this guy?
Or the other side, I really want to use this guy. What is it that they can say or do that will just be the deal maker, the deal breaker?
I think it's just a feeling, whether you can trust the person or not.
I think it's in the details too, that you've heard the right things. Everything makes sense. It's logical. They've maybe even highlighted things that you didn't even realize, and it makes sense again.
Yeah, experience, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys like being educated. So the communication, letting everybody know the schedule, what's going on, if we have a vacation planned, or these are the guys that are going to arrive on site. Transparency, communication,
Yes.
keep that up. And then those are all deal makers, right?
Yeah, just that level of trust, that rapport you feel with somebody, you either feel it or you don't. And if you don't, unless it's a super short, thing, they can do something inside of one day and it's like, yeah, just come do it and get lost, right? But if it's a lengthier thing, for sure, like it's all about that relationship that you're feeling.
Is it a good experience to work with a contractor, or is it kind of a gut wrenching? Oh, we got to go through this, and I don't want to. I don't want. I get it. 3 quotes, 4 quotes, 5 quotes. Got to meet 4 or 5 strangers. Come in. I got to talk about the same thing over and over 5 times. It's like dating 5 different women. You know what I mean? Is that a gut wrenching kind of experience? We like it because we love talking construction.
I love talking.
Hence the podcast. I guess most homeowners don't like that experience.
That's the least, I think, attractive part. It's the trying to find the contractor.
Find the guys.
Right? So you're talking to everybody. Yeah, you're hoping you mentioned all the right details so you are getting the same types of quotes. Like you don't want to, we missed this one big element and so now the quotes are different. So you worry a little bit about that. And I think finally when you get to choose one, it's like, okay, let's hope it works out.
Yeah, no, it's
Even at that point, huh?
Yeah, well, sometimes you feel that way. Yeah.
I'm very anxious through the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, very much so.
Quality of work is what I think keeps us anxious throughout the work.
And
part.
it's one thing to, you compared it to dating women. Yeah, it's one thing when you're just talking to folks, you haven't committed, right?
Yes.
That's okay. But then when you're ready to commit, it's like, yeah, you are holding your breath that they do everything
That they said.
Yep.
that it's well done, and and even after they leave, is it going to crumble on you, right? 'Cause
Are they going to return if something goes wrong?
all that stuff.
I did want to talk about the small projects. It seems to be an ongoing problem and a problem for, homeowners, contractors, and the listeners. It's a good time to kind of take all those projects and turn them into one job for a contractor so you get all those little things done. So you don't have to hire young guys or people rushing through your home. Because it seems like it's a problem. There's always like loose ends left. And who do you trust to do those things?
I guess, which is what my sister's doing with you, right?
Yeah.
She's now, like, you did the basement, I don't know, less than 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
And now they do have a laundry list of stuff around
Literally,
the house.
there's a laundry. Yeah. There's 3 bathrooms. There's the garage. Storage is big. Functionality is big. They really want a beautiful, functional master bathroom. They want to update the kids' bathrooms. The garage is missing a bunch of storage that they could be using properly, and the door hitting the drywall all the time, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I think what they did is they've been living in the basement, loving it so much that the rest of the house is not looking as favorable. So they want to start updating that. But yeah, there's a lot of work involved there. But it's good.
Most people get an idea and they want it done right away. I really, really want to stress that you need to take your time on finding a person, not get frustrated. When you're looking for a contract, do not get frustrated. Take your time. It's going to be a better experience and a better project if things go slower.
What are some of the nice new luxury things that, Marie, you have seen on Pinterest and House and out there
this is
that
good.
you would want that you don't have right now in your home? I've told clients over and over 10 years ago, heated floors was a must.
Yeah, heated floors is nice.
Now
for
heated
sure,
towel
but
holders.
Those kinds of conveniences.
Heated
are
toilet
nice.
seat.
Or the toilet seat that does everything else for you too. That's pretty cool.
We joke about having like a wrapper level shower,
I love it.
A wrapper level shower.
or master bathroom. That's what
if
we
something
want.
would
What is a
dry me right after I'm done.
Okay, all right. A car wash.
Yeah, that would be cool too. That would be really practical if it could just dry me.
You just
But
stand
I
at the door and you just go through all these sections.
Yeah, it rotates you through.
Would you put a counter everywhere you go and it's just 30 seconds left?
espresso bar,
Food.
What other luxurious items you?
We've got like her sisters. They have like theater rooms in the basement. That doesn't really appeal to me.
I've never been a fan of a home theater.
I love them.
I don't. I go to the
love them.
theater.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore.
It is the same
Not
to
even
me.
in VIP, it's not the
No,
same.
I don't go to VIP because that's a home theater. I think a theater at home should be your family room. I think a TV should be a certain size and you should just be comfortable to watch a movie or a TV show that way. I don't think you need to build a mini home theater in your house. That's me.
I'm not a television. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the radio. I don't believe the news.
Captain Caveman.
Yeah, but definitely I'll enjoy Netflix and movies with my wife and family. I will take fantasy time. And for me, having a theater, But we're so busy doing so many things in life. Like life is not boring at all. So we have so many things going on, and everything's so amazing that I don't need those things, you know? So like a theater room is just basic. Go in, watch a movie, get out, and get back to reality, right?
I like all the finishing stuff, right? Like it takes me so much time to do built-in stuff, but I would love it even in our master bedroom if if I could add built-in features.
Details.
I think it would could be really, really beautiful. So I think less of the hardware appliancey stuff and more just prettying stuff up. Like I love the wood trim stuff and
Yeah, I love wainscot and cofferts. Every house I go into, I go, oh, you could put Cofford here, wainscot over there.
Here's the price. Nope.
What's your next project, guys?
master bedroom.
Master bedroom.
Yeah.
Bathroom. That includes a bathroom?
Oh no, that's separate.
Yeah, but it will include the bathroom. See, I told you I'm ahead of him.
You can't do the bedroom without doing the bathroom because
It needs to be done.
you got to wake up and go to the bathroom.
You should do the bathroom first because you have to go through your bedroom, so the bedroom's the last one to suffer.
The bedroom isn't really necessitating any kind of renovation. It's really just
Cleaning
cosmetic,
it up,
right?
yeah.
It's just paint and some furniture. It's the bathroom that needs.
I mean, I'm sure you
some
guys,
stuff.
if you saw it, you'd have ideas that Marie would fall in love with.
Totally.
Oh,
there,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, it needs. It's such a basic bathroom. It's
Yeah.
like it needs a lot of work.
Well, your sister already saw my white bathroom, and he just said, "Yeah, go ahead and do that." I was like, "No. That's a 6-figure bathroom. You got to calm down here, right?" So, let's decide what we're gonna do here.
I was hoping that you were going to say something about the garage. Like it's a go-to place for me these days. I'm seeing a lot of my friends are like doing amazing, toolboxes and workshops.
Well, let's
and
start
so
with the
on.
floor. Just epoxy the floor.
Yeah.
Get it done. You spill gas, you spill oil, you wipe it up. It's done. It's clean. It's easy. Then storage. Organize the bikes. Organize the tools, the Ryobi tools. Organize everything, right?
The Porsche, the Ferrari,
no
the Harley.
lifts. No lifts. Don't get into the world of lifts. But yeah, I think there's opportunity there.
No, for sure. I would appreciate, let's call it a cleaner garage, right? So yeah,
the
with
floor makes sense to me, and storage.
and some of the walls, the drywalling is brutal, right? That should be redone. And
You don't want to look at it, Carlito. He's a drywall guy.
I'm an everything guy.
yeah. Don't look at it.
Don't look
We
at
need
it.
to prepare it before you look at it.
And we've got this 3-car garage, but it's a tandem, right? On one side, there's room for 2 cars. To be honest, a lot of the shelving was just my father took it upon himself to put it up, right? So it's all
Oh, I
it's
know.
practical.
I know.
But it's not pretty or anything. So for
Yeah,
sure.
but it's better than nothing.
Oh yeah, no, by all means, right?
Yeah, it's done the job, but it could be better for sure.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
more organized.
If there's one thing that you guys can tell contractors out there, what would it be when they come to you guys to sell their service, provide their service?
Tell it like it is.
Yeah, be honest. And that means what it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, stuff you know how to do and don't know how to do, right? Like if somebody were to tell me, look, I can make it look like this, but if you really wanted something more intricate or whatnot, it's not me, right? Like just be honest.
Yeah, I
Same?
would have to agree. It's
Yeah.
honesty and just commitment. Like you've said this, then do that.
Cesar, I think it was fantastic that you're not afraid of large contracts. I don't think that anyone else should. That's a lot of detail in there, and those are the problems that always occur between contractor and homeowner. Homeowner always says, "But I told you that was what I wanted, and I wanted this, and I wanted that, and you said yes." And then your contract doesn't show that, and then you can't basically go back and forth and find out what really was in that contract or what wasn't. So
The classic is sign the contract with the husband and then have the wife make all the changes and additions and then come to the final bill and go, "No, we never agreed to that." Whoa. That's what we have to deal with.
And just one pet peeve I've always had with homeowners, whenever I leave the site, because I do have to leave the site, when I walk away, I leave the guys, say, building a washroom. When I come back, they're hanging a door. And I say, "Hey, man, what the fuck do you think you're doing?" And they say,
Who did you speak
"Well,
to?
the homeowner told me to do the door." And I said, "Are they paying you or am I paying you?" And then I'm left with the homeowner, and I say, "Listen, the next time you speak to you can ask questions and you can about what's going on, but please don't get them off of what we've already discussed because now it's a timeline and it's a new budget." and so on. So.
But it's a good team that will always say, speak to Carlito or speak to Manny, right? They
Yeah.
won't, okay, sure, we'll do it. I got a door in the van right now. I'll do it. No, it doesn't work that way, right? I know you mentioned Love It or List It.
Sorry, Manny.
Don't worry, I've got a funny story about Love It or List It. We'll leave it at that. What do you guys think of those shows? Be honest, please.
Okay, I can watch them all day. I love
It's like scratching a
looking at that
blackboard,
stuff.
man.
You know what I like about
Really?
it? I like looking at stuff that doesn't look so great, and then the magic that happens once it's renovated. Like, I love that. I love
Are
it.
you watching it all day because of the knowledge, the ideas, the realistic perspective of the construction industry? What are
No.
Why are you watching it?
I mean, I get that they're cutting it and editing and all of that stuff. I think it's more just the process of something can be so ordinary looking, and then they make it look
Extraordinary.
modern and well, yeah, they do. I mean, sometimes it's realistic and sometimes it's staging. Like, you can tell it's just the staging. You know, sometimes they talk a little bit about like why this, might be better than another item, like type of service that's better than another. But I think it's just more the transformation of how pretty things can look. For me.
I don't go looking for the shows, to be honest, but if she's watching, a lot of times I'll get hooked too, right? They get you. Like a lot of what
it's
she
the
said.
transformation.
And
yeah.
then, it's personalities too, right? Like, so the hosts, are you digging the hosts or not? If they're annoying to you, forget it. Change the channel, right? But
so you like the host from the Love It or List It?
No, and I don't always like the hosts. I gotta be honest. I'm more after. I like the process. Like, I just like this not so
The wow
nice looking
factor.
stuff
Yeah.
going to like, whoa, that looks so much nicer. And sometimes it's just like paint. And again, some of the staging, but it's like, yeah, that looks so much nicer. Or furniture arrangement. Sometimes it's not construction.
I would love for you to get onto one of their real job sites and have a closer look at this prettiness.
I
But
would love to see it.
I would like to say something, a couple of things positive
Coke
about
bottle
television.
comes to mind.
I grew up on Bob Vila. He wasn't a real contractor, but
He never portrayed himself as a real contractor.
But I got into construction for reasons of television. When I did get into television changed my life. It made me a better person, educated me. It gave me time to learn, where in construction, when you're working, sometimes you do the same thing for 10 or 15 years. You never change your ways. You don't get
And
the
that's
call.
wrong.
I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is sometimes when you're making money, you forget to learn. You forget to educate yourself. You forget to take time out for your family and, the important things. And television really has given me the tools and the knowledge to become the person I am. So I like TV and Instagram and everything else.
I'm curious, Cesar, which host do you actually like?
from these reno shows.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit afraid to answer in front of you, Manny.
First of all, you guys
mean,
both know I'm a big
that
teddy
was a-
bear, okay?
That was my loud voice. To be honest, does anybody really jump to mind?
Okay, come on.
well,
Property
no.
Brothers are fine.
No, I think I
my
like.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God, I said
I
it.
think there's that couple. It's a husband and wife, and he's kind of a
From the
big
States.
galoot, and she's a
That is
blonde, like, cute
hometown.
hair.
Hometown. That is
Hotown?
home.
Hotown.
I did not.
I
say
will
that.
look for Hotown on HDTV.
No, I know who you're talking about. I forget their names though.
Yeah.
Aren't they divorced? I thought they recently separated. I saw in the trade papers.
I think she cheated on him.
Yes.
And with the plumber.
Here we go. We're creating gossip right now.
No, it's facts. She cheated with the plumber, and now she's got her own show, and he's not doing
No,
anything with her.
I think that's another couple. There's a couple of them that have recently separated.
there's a
just
lot
so you
of
know.
them.
money, 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 money.
So the Property Brothers are fun. You know that neither one of them knows how to swing a
They're
hammer.
professional actors.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I think is honestly, like, I get that part. It's just still the stuff looks much nicer.
What I have a problem with shows like that is that these guys are actually taking the royalties of saying, I did this work.
Yes.
And the guys that did the work don't get anything
Yes.
for it.
That's the problem I
another-
have.
That's not cool.
Another thing is there's many shows that you don't hear in public, but we hear in the trades that have been ripped off by some of these number one shows, and they leave the contractors hanging. They don't pay them. They don't give them any
Do a Google
residuals.
search. We're probably going to get in trouble for this, but
Yeah.
do a Google
It's the
search on
truth,
Love It or
though.
Listed on how many times litigation has come across their boards for all the
Really?
projects that they've done.
Oh
Just
my
do a
God.
Google search on that.
And I don't even want to. I'm not even going to tell you any names
We're going to get in trouble.
I've gone into many homes and I say, "Oh my God, who's the contractor that did this?" And they go, "Doot, doot, 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 doot." And I go, "Are you kidding me?" And they're like, "No." And I'm
Really?
like, I can't believe it. And I've got a bad taste in my mouth now because the more and more I'm seeing it more and more that guys that are following certain names or part of organizations are not doing what
they're
they should
drinking
be
the
doing.
Kool-Aid.
They should.
They believe what these guys are saying, which is not 100% true. And then they present themselves like they did this amazing work. And that's what I have a problem with.
This is a picture of the hometown hosts.
I think that's a new show.
I don't know who that is.
I thought
It's not that new, but they're okay.
But
a little boring.
they're likable, and again, when you don't know, you're just
You're
buying
watching
what
it for
they're
but
saying.
that's what it
entertainment.
is.
Pure entertainment.
It's television. It's
It is,
entertainment.
and I was just going to say it is entertainment. Like you get that.
As long
You
as
get
you
that.
guys realize it's pure entertainment and not the real construction life, then
Yeah.
then I'm good with that. You
Okay,
guys
thanks.
can watch whatever you want to watch.
We feel better now.
We got to get out of here. Oh, that's it?
no.
No, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Cesar. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Marie. Really appreciate it for being honest with you guys and letting us know what we assumed or didn't assume or thought. And we really want to educate all the contractors that are listening because we have a lot of guys listening. Thank you very much for listening. And this has really been helpful. They listen and they pay attention. They send us DMs and they talk to us. And we want to just keep on sharing more and more of the truth, having fun. And I like letting the white boy on the other side there just keep on beating. Thank you guys for letting us come into your house Sunday morning and disrupting everything. And we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here.
Woodbridge 416, baby.
905.
Oh, is it 905?
Yes.
Okay, 905 Woodbridge.
Thanks, guys.
Too funny.